Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Pete Hunt. I'm the Events Development Director at TEQ, and it's certainly a privilege to be here this afternoon and share a little bit about our new event strategy, which effectively evolves how we grow the Queensland events calendar through a new curation approach. I'm also going to touch upon the new mega and strategic events program that's being delivered by TEQ over the next 4 years, and also cover off how we're continuing to support the growth of business events through the Queensland Business Events Strategy. So look, the starting point for the new strategy is Destination 2045, which is a real game changer for events in our state. Among its 6 strategic priorities, Destination 45 sets a really ambitious agenda to position Queensland as the events capital of Australia and drive significant growth for the Queensland events calendar, targeting a $4 billion events calendar by 2045, including a $2 billion regional events calendar. In addition, a $2 billion business events calendar, so significant growth. Our current calendar, we're forecasting $1.2 billion this year, so significant growth is required over the next 2 decades. There are a range of other event-related initiatives that are on the screen there. I won't take you through them this afternoon. So look, in the wake of Destination 45, the state budget committed groundbreaking new funding for events, headlined by $100 million in new money, comprising $80 million for mega and strategic events. That's a new program. And in addition, $20 million for TEQ to grow regional and business events. In addition to that, it also locked in TEQ's base funding for another 2 years out to FY29, which really consolidates TEQ's major events, our business events and homegrown events programs. So the new TEQ events strategic framework really shifts our focus from simply aggregating a large number of high ROI events under the old strategy to a more nuanced approach that focuses on quality, on destination alignment, and also scale to create the calendar that we want over coming years. The vision of the strategy is to curate a distinctively Queensland calendar of nationally and internationally significant events, delivering unforgettable experiences that drive visitation, economic growth and legacy impacts for our communities. There's a couple of key words there. Curate, really important. Distinctively Queensland, that's important for us. Unforgettable experiences as well. We want visitors that come for our events to not just have a great time at the event, but have a great experience in the destination. The goal, in partnership with industry and government, that we will curate a $4 billion events calendar by 2045. So completely aligned with Destination 45. The positioning statement's pretty important too. It really recognises the unique and important role that events can play in connecting visitors with the beauty, the character and communities of Queensland, and how these attributes actually create competitive advantage for us. It's those factors that set us apart from New South Wales and also from Victoria. It's about how the unique event stages that are on offer throughout Queensland, the diversity that's on offer throughout Queensland that goes beyond stadia. We want our events to tell a unique story with Queensland's cultures and spirit at their heart. We also want our events to connect people and make our communities come to life. We know that Queensland's destinations offer diverse stages, rich with natural wonder, not just stadiums. Although it's fantastic that we will see some new stadiums, indoor arenas and the like here in Brisbane and throughout the state in coming years. We also want our events to offer life-enhancing experiences that are grounded in the very nature of Queensland. There are several enablers that are really important for the success of this strategy. I've already spoken about Destination 45. The other one is Brisbane 2032. It's that North Star, and it's once in a lifetime opportunity for us here in Queensland to grow the calendar with international events. We have international sporting federations, promoters, business event promoters, proponents, associations wanting to bring their events here to Queensland because of Brisbane 2032. Our strategy is about leveraging that and growing the calendar, probably more importantly, beyond 2032. Our events marketing program, really important to leverage our events portfolios to drive incremental growth. It's about those visitors that come, we want them to stay longer. We also want them to spend more. We also want to leverage events to reach remote audiences, to get them to come to Queensland, drive brand value through events. Anthony spoke about it before, the Team Queensland approach. There aren't many events that we support where our regional partners aren't at the table with us, and the partnership we have with BETA, with other regional tourism organisations and LGAs, so important to what we do. It's also how we leverage across government, with federal government and also the private sector. That's how we win. And lastly, programs. Having an industry that has the capability, the capacity to grow their existing events and also deliver new events is really important. So the strategy will certainly rely on that in coming years. So how are we going to do it? There's a set of curation principles that sit at the heart of the new event strategy. The curation principles guide the prioritisation of our budget, our team's effort, and also other resources across a suite of event categories. These event categories are defined by a set of distinct attributes, a portfolio of management approaches, and also budget allocation. Also return on investment expectations. That's a real change between our old strategy and the new one. Our previous strategy, every event in the major events program was assessed against the same metrics. We're taking a more nuanced approach under this new strategy. Over the next 3 slides, I'm going to take you through these event categories. Firstly, the first 2 categories are delivered under the Mega and Strategic Events program. Mega events, the first category, they are one-off, high-profile events requiring significant government investment and also significant coordination support. An example of that is the Rugby World Cup coming in 2 years' time. Going to be a game-changing event. The FIFA Women's World Cup is another example of that. Strategic events are one-off events as well, could be recurring, smaller scale than mega events. Don't typically drive the tourism outcomes that mega events drive, but will drive strategic outcomes for the state. The next 3 categories are delivered under our major events investment program. Firstly, one-off events. These events deliver immediate impact, providing tentpole moments for our calendar. They keep our calendar fresh year to year, drive significant visitation, but also can be leveraged to drive media value, brand value. Examples of that are the British and Irish Lions tour and the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo next week. The next category are anchor events. These events are recurring events where the identity is actually rooted in the destination. They drive significant visitation, also brand value. Examples of that are is the NRL Magic Round, Brisbane Festival. We call these the engine room of the events calendar. And then lastly, the catalyst events. These are high ROI events, events that don't drive great brand value, but are really important to our calendar. Examples of those are national sports championships. You can see there on the screen the differences in return on investment and also the differences there in our budget allocation. So anchor events, 75% of our budget is allocated towards that category. 20-1 return on investment compared to, say, catalyst events, 30-1 ROI is our expectation for those events, but a much smaller budget allocation. The last 2 categories are delivered under our homegrown program. So firstly, significant events. These are high-performing regional events that do attract overnight intrastate and interstate visitation. Some examples there on the screen there, the Abbey Medieval Festival. These events can grow into anchor events over time, and that's what this homegrown program is about. The second category there are signature events. So these are smaller in scale, can be burgeoning events, but really reflect the heart and soul of their destination. There are 2 subcategories that are delivered under these 2 that are a new introduction under the new strategy. Firstly, an Indigenous events category. That's a program to support Indigenous, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander owned and also run events, and also a Kickstarter program. That's an opportunity for first-time events to kickstart them into the program. Details on those will be launched in coming months. And last but certainly not least, business events, a really important driver of of high-value business travel into our state. We support business events under the Queensland Business Events Industry Strategy, and we work very closely with our Convention Bureau partners such as BETA, also our Convention Centre partners, to identify, to support their bids to attract international conferences and incentive programs to our key host destinations, obviously including Brisbane here. This support is currently driven through the Bid Activation and Leveraging Fund, through our Convention Bureau support funding, and also through the Convention Centre Economic Recovery Bid Support Program, which we're administering on behalf of government. We also, under the business event strategy, we over the last 2 years, in-market representation in China, and so that in-market representation is identifying leads, particularly in incentives, and then we'll bring those and work with our Convention Bureau partners, Convention Centre partners, to convert those to come to Queensland. That is all I've got time for today. I've covered that really quickly. Appreciate there may be questions, and so there is an opportunity for myself or for other speakers, if you have questions, just a reminder to scan the QR code, drop your questions into the Slido. We are going to break for afternoon tea, and it's going to run for 20 minutes. So if we're back just before, well, around about 5 to 3, that would be fantastic. Continue those conversations, questions for the speakers, and opportunity to network. Thank you.